Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be saying something positive about every NFL team. I think this needs to be done to make sure that we all start the season off on the right foot, because I know as soon as I do my predictions tomorrow, I'm going to have a lot of people mad at me. Real quick before we hop into the video, don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 lineup after using code Wyatt's World at sign up. And make sure to take advantage of the Caleb Williams free square. All he needs is 1 yard on Sunday for that entry to win. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's get into the video. Okay, so before we start, I gotta be really annoying, but I actually have a super cool announcement. I have created an NFL Pick'em League to do with you guys. There's already like 800 people in it, actually probably more. Yeah, correction, 953 people. Anyway, all you guys have to do to join is just go to the community page on my YouTube and hit the link. It's free, and the top 3 places at the end of the season will all get NFL shop jerseys of their choice from me. So good luck, and yeah, get picking. Anyway, as far as this video goes, it's set up in the most easy way possible. I'm going to be dragging teams in the happy category as I say positive things about them. So beginning, we have the Buffalo Bills, and it looks like this is going by division. So I could say a million nice things about my boys, but the one thing I love the most about this squad is how every single year they battle significant catastrophic injuries and yet still compete and finish on top of their division. Like, it's amazing. They're never healthy. Moving on, we got the Dolphins. No, I'm just kidding. If I have to say something nice about the Dolphins, I actually don't have to think too hard about it because I've always thought this about their team. These guys are the team that if they blow you out of the water, they are going to be dancing and laughing and telling jokes and doing whatever they can to embarrass that other team. But when they lose, it seems like more times than none, their players and even their coach, as much as I don't like them, always take it on the chin like a champ. They eat it every time. They don't ever make excuses. It's always, we got our asses kicked. Now we got the Patriots. I love how you guys as an organization are moving forward and not just sitting back and staring at your past accomplishments. You know you had a historic reign with Belichick and Brady, and you guys are grateful for it, but it is also behind you, and this organization is moving forward with absolutely no fear. Now we got the Jets. I genuinely think that you guys will compete this year, and I think you deserve it. I know the Bills are a rival. I need you to fail, but I think it's gonna be just flat out good for the game of football to see the Jets actually relevant again, if you guys are, which I think you will be. Now we got Baltimore. I think you guys are an incredibly well-run organization, really. And I mean this in no disrespect to your players. You guys have fantastic players, but what I mean by this is I genuinely think just about anybody can go in there and be made into somebody. I think you have incredible coaches, you have incredible staff, and one thing they excel most in is finding situations for each player to have a spot, have a position, have a purpose. Now we got the Bengals. I absolutely adore how you guys were not scared to move on from Joe Mixon. Didn't you ship him for a 7th round pick, like the lowest thing you could have gotten in return? You know you got the best years out of him, and you're not about to miss out on anything catastrophic. Now moving on, we got the Browns. This might not sound like a compliment, but it truly is. I love the fact that you guys as an organization are extremely aware that you gave Deshaun Watson the worst contract in NFL history, yet you guys move forward like you have no idea what anybody's talking about. Like, you completely ignore the banter on it. I mean, you can only do one of two things: what you're doing, or you can just beat yourself up over it, which will eventually get back into the locker room and cause friction. So I would do what you're doing too. Moving on, we got the Steelers. And I hate this word, but I love the aura that you guys bring to games. You're a classic team. There's always a million eyeballs on you. It just feels like every single time a team that I support plays the Steelers, that game is extremely important. And again, that'll recirculate because you know if you're playing the Steelers, a lot of fucking people are watching that game. Now we got the Houston Texans. I think when it comes to having a bright future, there is nobody who has a brighter one than you guys right now. I think you guys are set in stone locks to be one of the top teams in the AFC for the next 3 to 5 years. And if D'Amico keeps this band together, I don't see it unrealistic at all that they make a push for the championship. Now moving on, we have the Colts, and I know I just talked about this, but it's one of the only things that comes to my head right now, and that's you guys have a great fan base. I think it's a fun group to be around. It's funny people. You watch a game with a Colts fan, win or lose, you're still having a good time, man. Football might be their life, but they know if their team loses, loses, it's not the end of it. Moving on, we have the Jags. I'm actually going to talk about Trevor Lawrence. Not only do I think he's underrated as to how some people are talking about him, but I would put him right up there in conversations with Matt Stafford when it comes to how well he elevates talent. You have guys like Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, people who were in the league in different organizations for quite a while where people were not really certain they were going to be all that effective, and they go to the Jags and immediately have the best seasons of their careers and have a resurrected career. Now, Zay Jones, that guy, he's on the Cardinals now and he's not going to play because he's a fucking idiot. However, he was an example as to another person Trevor brought to life out of nowhere. Honestly, even as much as I'd bet against it, there's a chance Gabe Davis probably has his best yardage season this year too. Now we got the Titans. I flat out love the team you guys built over this offseason. I know I've said that a million times, but it's true. I was hesitant about you guys when you fired Vrabel, but no, seriously, I think you guys are in such a better position than you were last year. I think this team is set up to really surprise a lot of people. Now we're on to the Broncos. If any head coach in the NFL is going to take that team and make them into something right now, unfortunately, I have to say you have the coach to do it. Maybe this will start off as an insult. Sean Payton is a fucking asshole. But with that being said, he is also a tremendous coach who knows football and he knows offense. He doesn't just know it, he has mastered it. Now we got the Chiefs. I love how you guys constantly give me pain as a reminder that I am indeed alive and can feel things. Now moving on, we got the Raiders. This team is resilient, and they always have been very, very resilient. Doesn't matter how many times they get the shit beat out of them, how many times they get embarrassed, how many times the other team takes them and mops the floor with them in front of national television. They get up every single time, dust themselves off, and by the next morning, that team is moving on to the next week. Like, I don't know if they're numb to pain at this point or what, but it's definitely respectable. Now moving on, we have the Chargers, and this is about Jim Harbaugh. Actually, to be completely honest, from a player's perspective, I think that he is probably one of the better coaches to have, just solely on the fact that I've never heard a player play for him and say anything other than the fact that he is like a dad to them. Like, people, including myself, have complimented AP on the Raiders being a player's coach and getting players to rally. Harbs? He's been there for one offseason, and this team is already looking more motivated than they ever did when they had Brandon Staley. Harbs practices and lifts weights with his players. Like, the guy is actually insane. Now moving to the NFC, we start with Dallas. I love the fact that your team is so good at just tuning out bullshit. No matter where this team plays, if it's not home, by default, they are going to be hated, and they just don't care. They never have. They just ball out. Now we got New York. As much as I think your team is going to stink because of your offense, I actually think you have a really, really good defense. Brian Burns, Dexter, Bobby, Kayvon, Deontay Banks. You got playmakers all over the damn place that'll keep you in games. It's just until they're exhausted from constantly being out there that they wear down. Now we got Philly. Said this before, I'll say it again. I don't think there's a shred of a doubt you guys are going to be a top team in the NFC this year and one of the top teams in the league. You may have melted down last year, but as far as off-season moves go, like, I think every single one you made this off-season is going to benefit you. Now moving on, we got the Commanders. I think you guys have a nice color scheme. Reminds me of the Minnesota Gophers. Yeah. Moving on, we got the Bears, and the last thing I want to do here is put more air in their fans' heads, but if I got to be completely honest, your offense has potential to be a top 5 offense in the NFL. You guys might be really, really good. Now moving on, we got the Lions, and this is another one I'm going to regret to say because their fans' heads are going to get so big, but we got to be positive, we got to be honest. This right here is going to be the best shot you have ever had at a Super Bowl. You've got the division to win, you've got the schedule to pick on. They're not my Super Bowl pick, but if they do go to the Super Bowl, this is gonna be the year that they do it. Now we've got Green Bay. I don't think you guys have the best team in the league by any means, but I do think you guys have one of the most well-rounded teams in the league. I don't think you guys are really weak in any spot. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'd rather be like that than have a really good offense and just a shit defense. And now we're on to the Vikings. You guys legitimately have a chance this year. Now I know everybody, including myself, has written you guys off, but to be legitimate, you have a chance. You have offensive talent, you have a great coach, you have Flores running a defense that we know he can take care of. It literally falls on the quarterback. Like, sorry to say it for a 4th, 5th, 6th time, you have a chance. I just don't think it's a good one. Now we're on to the Falcons. I look forward to you guys making the playoffs this year so I don't have to fly into Atlanta and go stand in front of your stadium wearing a clown wig. To be completely honest, somebody might take that the wrong way and beat the fuck out of me. I'm mortified. I'm gonna be completely square. You guys gotta make the playoffs. Now we got the Panthers. I got a lot of positive things to say about you guys, man. I think Bryce Young is gonna ball out. I think Dave Canales is really gonna help elevate him. I think Big X might end up being one of the better receivers out of this class. And even though I said I don't think you guys' record record-wise will improve a whole lot, I genuinely believe your team is gonna look just a whole lot better. Now we've got the Saints. Well, I figure you guys have a Nope, not that one. Chris Olave has got a nice smile, man. Now moving on, we got the Bucks. I think Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield are one of the most underrated and scariest duos in the league when it comes to quarterback wide receiver. You know, you hear about Burrow and Jamar, Tua and Tyreek, Dak CD, all these great connections, but you don't really hear about Baker and Mike when, dude, they are so deadly. You got a quarterback who has bigger balls than about anybody in the league and will just throw the ball up, and then you've got an absolute cyborg giant who will go through any depths to get up and get a ball down. Now, I know they don't haul in every pass, but there's also no situation that you're going to put Baker Mayfield in where he's scared to throw the ball to Mike Evans. Moving on, we have the Arizona Cardinals. I think if there is a true dark horse team, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but if there's a true bottom 10 team, which I would, consider you guys roughly part of, if there's any team like that to overcome anything and really shock people with a good season this year, and I mean up to 500 or better, it's gonna be them. Moving on, we got the Rams. I think this team is a lot closer to a Super Bowl than people think they are. Like, to me, it seems like people are acknowledging that they're a decent team, but nothing more than that. Tell you right now, if you go into the playoffs, that is the last fucking team you are gonna want to face. Moving on, we got the 49ers. I hope you guys take this as a compliment. Nobody on this planet ever wants to play you guys, ever. You guys, in my opinion, even worse than the Chiefs, you're the scariest team in the league. And ending, we have Seattle. This is strictly about DK Metcalf because I can't stand the banter he receives. He might legitimately be the most underrated wide receiver in the league. He is by far the most disrespected. I don't get it. The guy is consistently good. He consistently makes miraculous plays. Now, he might run his routes slower than molasses, and that's okay, but as a player, he is one of the most dominant in the league right now. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for me saying something positive about every NFL team. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please show support if you guys did. Tomorrow we're gonna hop into predictions, so in the meantime, I'm gonna get this edited so you guys can all watch it on time. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.